Hello there, welcome back. Business Time here on France 24. Owen Fairclough is with me here in the studio with Standard Chartered at the centre of a new banking scandal.
And seeing its shares open 12% down on London markets, Catherine. This was less than 24 hours after it was described as a rogue institution by the New York Department of Financial Services, one of many US regulators, a fairly new one that's carried out an inquiry into Standard Chartered's transactions with the Iranian government over the last 10 years or so, and claims that Standard Chartered channeled some $250 billion out of Iran to help the government pay for its much disputed nuclear program, and of course in defiance of sanctions that the US has been putting into force against Iran over the last decade or so. Various different methods, so allege these regulators, including wire stripping, which is essentially removing any reference to Iran in these many transactions. Well, it isn't the only bank involved in this, of course. Many other banks around the world, like Lloyds, TSB, Credit Suisse, have been fined millions of dollars in the last few years for similar dealings with Iran. Standard Chartered, for its part, has come out with a very bullish defence, taking issue with many of the facts in the report from these regulators and saying that the amounts in dispute are way less than that. It says it's complied with legislation or sanctions legislation for the most part. They're only talking around $14 million of disputed transactions. So this one is going to run a little bit. At the root cause, or at the centre of this, of course, is the threat that Standard Chartered could be effectively kicked out of Wall Street. It could lose its banking licence in New York, which would hit things fairly heavily, and explains partly why the stock is down so much in the last 24 hours.
Well, like you say, Standard Chartered are losing heavily this Tuesday. Let's take a look at the overall picture in European trading. Pretty choppy for the time being. Spain and Frankfurt both off between 0.2 and 0.5%. But remember that many European markets have enjoyed double-digit gains over the last month. Now, looking at Asian markets, Japan's Nikkei closed up just over 0.5%, while the Hang Seng has made more modest gains, around 1/3% in the green.
Well, next here on Business, a sell-off race in Greece. The government is under pressure to accelerate its privatisation programme in order to reduce state assets. It's a key condition for continuing to receive billions of euros in bailout funding. But as Winnie Andrews reports, a programme that was supposed to raise 50 billion euros is now on course to raise less than half that amount.
Trying to reinvigorate a stagnating privatisation programme. The heads of Greece's coalition party met Monday to discuss reforms that could accelerate government sell-offs.
We were informed by the Prime Minister that he asked the government's General Secretary to draft a bill that would contain 77 reforms which will make privatisation easier.
Greece is under pressure from its creditors to sell off 19 billion euros in state property through 2015. International lenders are looking to see if Greece is implementing promised privatization before continuing with disbursements of much-needed bailout funds.
We need to send a message of encouragement, a positive message, and it must be made clear internationally that Greece is not a bad partner. It is not an outcast. It cannot become the Eurozone's sacrificial lamb.
According to the semi-official Athens news agency, the first companies set to be privatized include Athens' old airport, the public lottery company, and DEPA, the national natural gas distributor. International lenders will be back in September to determine if Greece has done enough to merit continued rescue funds.
Now, if you're watching us from London and you're enjoying the Olympic Games, chances are to get to the Games, you've perhaps taken a classic London cab. Well, how about this? Nissan is trying to take a slice of that market, unveiling a new type of cab that it wants to put onto the streets of the British capital in the next few months. It's all set for trials. It's called the ENV200. There's an electric version of it. It's a low diesel consuming transporter. Very much different, I think, Catherine, from the classic sort of London Hackney
not quite
cab.
As stylish, maybe. They've got character, haven't they, London cabs?
They have got character, and you always get
massive, though. Is that because we're all getting fatter? It needs a bit more space in the cabs.
Surprisingly, Nissan didn't say that in the advertising blurb for this. They're hoping to conduct trials over the next few months or so. Traditional London cabs already have the same engine, so Nissan already have a bit of a presence, if you like, in this market in London. And as I say, they should be on the streets by the end of the year. They're already operating in cities like Tokyo and New York. The idea is that they're better for disabled passengers with a sliding door But there we go. Yeah, I think I agree with you. I'm not quite sure if the design
Not
is
so
quite
pretty,
as
but it's
iconic.
nice if it's better for people in wheelchairs. That's always good. All right, thanks very much, Owen Fairclough, with our roundup of the business news here on France 24. Stay tuned.
For Gregory Bourget, second place just doesn't cut it. But the English cyclist Jason Kenny was no match for the French six-time world champion. As he crossed the finish line, Kenny became the first British athlete to get 2 gold medals during the London Games.
It's great to be in a team that is kind of a winning team, I guess, you know, and everyone's just been coming home every day, it feels like, and everyone's like, oh, we've got another goal today, oh, we've got another goal today, and it's just been like absolutely amazing. It's been really exciting.
British cycling has won gold in 5 of the 7 track events. As for Bourget, his medal was France's silver lining on an otherwise medal-less day. At 19 years old, few athletes leave a mark on their discipline like Yang Haxian. The Korean world champion clinched gold with a triple twisting front somersault, which he invented and is now named after him. Yang Haxian stumbled at the finish, but successfully completed his vault that holds the highest difficulty rating. China's Chen Yibing was confident he'd do the same in the men's rings final, but his 8 world championship titles in 6 years weren't enough to stop rival Arthur Zanetti. In the end, it's the Brazilian gymnast that got the gold. For the men's 400-meter hurdles, Felix Sanchez proved age is nothing but a number. 8 years after getting his first gold medal in the same event, the soon-to-be 35-year-old Dominican athlete did it again. His winning time was the same as in 2004.
Just amazing. I came off the last hurdle. I was just it was surreal because I was expecting them to catch me. I felt tired, but I just kept digging and pushing. And when I crossed the line, I couldn't believe it.
The Caribbeans stole the show at the men's 400-meter race as well, with James Kirani from Grenada finishing first at 43.94 seconds, right before Lugalin Santos from the Dominican Republic and Lalonde Gordon from Trinidad. Meanwhile, Russia's Yulia Zarapova was unstoppable in the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase. She kept her lead throughout the race. Still, Tunisia's Habiba Gribi got silver after a final sprint, leaving Sofia Assefa from Ethiopia with the bronze. Later in the evening, the rain interfered with the women's pole vault event, but that didn't stop the USA's Jennifer Sir from clearing the 4.75 mark. She got the gold. Russia's Yelena Isinbayeva won bronze despite having 28 world records to her name. Alex Schweizer is the latest athlete excluded from the Games after using performance-enhancing drugs. The defending Olympic 50K Italian champion was hoping to get gold like in 2008 when he set a new Olympic record. The USA's Nick Del Popolo was also barred from the competition. The judo fighter tested positive for marijuana after admitting he ate a hash brownie. All 3 men's wrestling finals took place Monday. Iran, Russia, and Cuba got gold. Here, Russia's Alan Kugaev is seen beating Karam Ibrahim from Egypt in the 84-kilogram event. It's over for the French women's football team. They conceded defeat to their Japanese rivals. USA beat Canada in overtime, securing a spot in Thursday's final, as it's done in every Olympics since the discipline was introduced in 1996. The U.S. team will play Japan in the final for the first time. Coming up, men's basketball quarterfinals with Brazil-Argentina, USA-Australia, France-Spain, and Russia versus Lithuania. Then there's the men's handball quarterfinals with Iceland-Hungary, Sweden-Denmark, Spain-France, and Croatia against Tunisia. Monday's medals keep the ranking unchanged, with China still first with 64 medals, of which 31 are gold, followed closely by the United States. Then comes Britain with 18 gold medals and 40 overall, South Korea and France still in 5th place with 26 medals.